These days, true crime seems to be everywhere. Books, podcasts and series tell the stories of solved and unsolved crimes. But why are we suddenly so obsessed with the genre? And is it really a new trend? People have always had the primal instinct to want to look at something terrible. But when the Guttenberg Press was invented, it opened a new way of communication. There was now the ability to tell stories to a wider audience. The horrific tales of murder and sin were brought to them on broadsheets, often depicting a story that contributed to the Christian moral, cautioning people to refrain from any sins because it may cause them to go down a murderous path. New technologies allowed for a bigger audience in the 19th century. The perpetrator of over 5 brutal murders in London got world famous as Jack the Ripper. In this era, law enforcement became more professional. Now being able to use techniques such as fingerprint recognition, the public was introduced to detectives who had attention for the psyche and the motive of a killer. In 1966, Truman Capote released In Cold Blood, a book that told the story of 4 murders in 1959. Some scholars say that In Cold Blood was the first ever non-fiction romance and a pioneer in the true crime genre. As it has been established, the audience has always been fascinated by crime. The package in which we were brought those crimes may have changed, but the core has always remained the same. But why were we so obsessed with those stories? The idea that horrific crimes can be done by an average person haunts us. We want to understand what happened so we can make sure it doesn't happen to us. Especially for women, listening to podcasts is a form of preparation. Although it is far less likely for a woman to be murdered than a man, women seem to be more afraid than men of being a victim of a crime. This, on the one hand, may be because they are likelier to become a victim of sexual assault and intimate partner homicide. But the media might also have a part in this. Newspapers and television programs often focus on crimes committed against innocent women. Therefore, women have the idea that the chances of getting violated are high. This can also explain why women are over 70% of the true crime audience. Listening to podcasts gives us an opportunity to think about how to act if we find ourselves in a similar position. It allows us to live these situations in a safe environment with the possibility to pause whenever we want to. True crime also gives us control. Oftentimes, cases have a classic storyline. There are bad and good people, and the bad ones get punished. In a world where there are no certainties, it gives us the idea that there is a form of order and justice. Whatever the reason for us to consume true crime, one thing is certain: it is here to stay. In one form or another, we will always be unraveling gruesome stories.